What if the pyramids weren't built for the dead, but for the awakening of the living? For centuries, the Great Pyramid stood as a silent riddle, too perfect, too aligned, too massive to make sense through conventional logic. Historians say they were tombs, but no body was ever found. Engineers say they were monuments, but modern tools can't replicate them. So what if everything we've been told is just the surface? Ancient Hermetic teachings suggest something far more profound, that the pyramids were never meant for burial, but for transformation. A sacred machine designed not just to honor gods, but to activate human consciousness. Its angles weren't just architectural, they were alchemical. Its stones weren't just heavy, they were harmonic. And maybe, just maybe, the real blueprint was never drawn on papyrus, but encoded in geometry, vibration, and cosmic alignment. If this is true, the pyramids weren't built for pharaohs, they were built for us. If the pyramids were never tombs, then what were they? The answer lies not in the desert sands, but in the stars and in the numbers. The Great Pyramid of Giza isn't just precisely aligned with true north, it's also mathematically tied to Earth's dimensions, the speed of light, and the golden ratio. How did ancient builders, without satellites or GPS, encode these cosmic constants? Hermetic scholars believe the pyramid was constructed by initiates of a sacred science, a knowledge passed down from Atlantis or higher intelligences. These weren't mere laborers, they were geomancers, alchemists, astronomers. They understood frequency, they mapped energy, and they built not just with stone, but with intention. This wasn't just architecture, it was technology, spiritual technology. A resonant chamber engineered to channel Earth's vibrations, amplify consciousness, and perhaps open portals. So was it ever really a tomb? Or was it a key? Ancient texts and Hermetic fragments hint at something even stranger. The builders didn't just align the pyramids with Earth, they aligned them with the cosmos. The three pyramids at Giza mirror the belt stars of Orion almost perfectly. Why Orion? In Egyptian mythology, Orion was linked to Osiris, the god of resurrection and spiritual rebirth. The placement wasn't decorative, it was initiatory. Some believe these alignments weren't symbolic, but functional, used to anchor energy between Earth and the stars. The pyramid wasn't just a machine, it was a receiver, a tuning fork for cosmic harmonics. Hermetic doctrine teaches that as above, so below isn't metaphor, it's engineering. Could it be that the pyramids acted as gateways between realms? Not just places of worship, but launch pads for the soul? And if so, who were the beings that taught ancient Egypt to build such divine instruments, and where did they go? If this awakened something in you, subscribe and follow the path. The internal chambers of the Great Pyramid were no random arrangement. They were acoustically engineered. The king's chamber resonates at 440 Hz, a frequency known to affect brain waves and cellular vibration. The materials, limestone casing, granite core, weren't chosen for durability alone. They conduct and store energy. Ancient structures weren't just buildings, they were instruments. Hermetic lore suggests that initiates used these chambers for vibrational initiation. Tones, chants, and harmonic resonance were used to alter states of consciousness, to tune the soul like a stringed instrument. Modern science calls it pseudoscience, but the effects of sound on biology are proven. Cymatics shows sound creates form. What if the builders knew this and used it? Could the pyramid's design have been a sonic engine, a chamber to synchronize the body, mind, and cosmos? If so, it wasn't meant for the dead. It was built for awakening. The precision of the pyramids doesn't end with architecture. It reaches into the sky. The Great Pyramid is aligned not only with the cardinal points, but with the stars themselves. Its shafts point directly to Orion and Sirius, two stars deeply embedded in ancient Egyptian cosmology. But why such exact celestial targeting? Some believe the pyramids were built as terrestrial mirrors of the heavens, part of a larger energy grid spread across the Earth. Ley lines, telluric currents, planetary harmonics all suggest the builders mapped the invisible. And if you overlay sacred sites worldwide, a pattern emerges, geometry across continents, as if Earth itself was tuned. Could the pyramid have been more than a monument, a device to synchronize with cosmic rhythms? If ancient initiates believed in as above, so below, then the heavens weren't just symbols, they were templates. blueprints to connect the soul not just to gods, but to the stars themselves. Modern engineers still debate how the pyramids were built, but ancient sources hint that it wasn't brute labor alone. Some accounts describe sound being used to move stones, harmonics lifting matter. Far-fetched? Maybe. But consider this. The ancients carved basalt and granite with copper tools, an impossible feat by today's standards. Hermetic traditions speak of lost technologies, tools that didn't rely on combustion or machinery, but on resonance and intent, vibrational science, sound alchemy, conscious geometry. Could the builders have known how to harness Earth's electromagnetic field, to use frequencies to shape reality itself? Even the mysterious Ben stone, the capstone said to have once topped the Great Pyramid, was rumored to hold strange powers, glowing with energy. Removed, hidden, or lost, it's now part of myth. But if the pyramids were once machines, then maybe we've only just begun to remember how they worked. If the pyramids were machines, then what were they designed to do? Hermetic teachings suggest their true function was to awaken consciousness. They weren't monuments to the dead, but tools for the living, to unlock the dormant energy within the human being. The pyramid's shape, materials, and orientation weren't symbolic. They were functional. The ancients spoke of light bodies and ascension, states where spirit transcends form. Could the Great Pyramid have acted as a chamber for activating this transformation? With resonance, geometry, and intention aligned, perhaps initiates used it to trigger spiritual awakening, to experience the divine within. This wasn't just architecture, it was initiation. A ritual embedded in stone, one that guided the soul upward, from base instincts to higher consciousness. So the real mystery isn't how it was built, but what it was built to do. And if we've forgotten that purpose, maybe the pyramid still waits. We've been told the pyramids are relics of a primitive past, but what if they're messages from a forgotten future? A future where spirit and science weren't separate, where technology served the soul. The Great Pyramid stands not just as a monument of stone, but as a mirror of what we've lost, and what we could become again. Its silence is not absence, it's invitation. To remember, to rediscover the blueprint encoded in geometry, harmony, and light. Perhaps we're not just meant to study the pyramids, but to activate them, not with tools, but with awareness. Maybe the ancients weren't just builders, they were guides, and the pyramid was never just for them, it was left behind for us, a map etched in stone, waiting. So the real question is not who built the pyramids, but why. And if you're still watching, maybe you were meant to find this. Do you think the pyramids were built by humans, or by something humanity forgot?